think the main premise behind it was that over the past 18 months, there's been this whole thing across the press about the demise of print, and, sort of like circulations falling. And as a fact, the print editions, that, sort of like the paper editions, that is, absolutely true. What people seem to forget, though, is that there's actually this whole growth area of tablet, mobile, sort of like the .co.uk editions that complement the demise and, the actual paper product. And you have to look at it as a whole. And I think that people have sort of like, because they've been concentrating on this whole demise, they've forgotten the strength of print is about the editorial pillars, and the fact that people are always going to be passionate about whether it's cars, whether it's golf, whether it's makeup, whether it's fashion, whether it's, sort of like pets, that people have their passion points, and they will go and search out that content. And it doesn't have to be in a magazine. It can be on a tablet, it can be on mobile, it can be on, sort of like something completely different. And I think that's why we put this on today, so that we could, sort of like really bring that to life within the agency and for our clients. There's so many sort of, print media owners across the industry. There's no way that it would have ever worked with having people siloed into different rooms. But the main point is the fact that consumers don't take print as siloed into, sort of like different areas. They wouldn't have a clue whether it was, Hearst or Kelsey Publishing or IPC or Immediate Media, or, the Times or Express newspapers or Daily Mirror Group that were actually, producing the product that they're passionate about. They're interested in the title, in sort of like the particular interest point. So it was really, really important to us to get over the editorial pillars and the interest points, hence why we did the different rooms, and effectively, sort of like really pushed, in some cases had to push harder than others, to get the contractors to actually collaborate together to bring this to life today. Yeah, absolutely. We were with the editors of IPC titles this morning, and they were talking about the cross platforms, that all their content is now across, and they were talking about how there's very different content in, their digital editions than there is in their actual paper edition. And because of that, they're picking up, sort of like more consumers, but also different consumers. You take, I don't know, a title like The Telegraph, for example. It has a really strong sports heritage, but 25-year-old guys don't necessarily want to be seen reading a copy of the Daily Telegraph on the train in the morning. Their target, their target market is much older. It's nearer sort of, the 50, 54 end of the scale. But their online editions are much younger, so they're actually producing content and picking up new, sort of like consumers at the same time that are consuming their medium in a different format. Well, it's amazing, because the amount of innovation that you can do. I mean, literally on a daily basis, new stuff is happening, and new stuff is coming to the forefront. And we're in the privileged position that with our clients, we can, really come to the forefront with that and do some really clever and exciting stuff. And it's about utilising the new technologies, the near field communications, the augmented reality, and it's about really bringing to life, the content of the brands, sort of like the branded ads. And it's not just about a static ad on a page anymore. It's about having that potentially a static ad on a page, putting an iPad over the top of it, or a tablet over the top of it, and that whole ad just explodes into just content and more information that the consumer can have on something that they're interested in, so they're engaged with it. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, sort of like over the next 12 months, we will see content become more and more and more a part of what we do as a print team, sort of like on a daily basis. it's becoming easier to take the assets and, you know, sort of like really deepen them with more content. There's more information about what the consumers are after, and because of sort of the social interactions as well, you're getting feedback from the consumer as to exactly what they want, which means that you can hone down your content better to actually really give them what they want, which gives them an even deeper engagement with the, you know, with their passion points and with these titles. I'd love to do it again. I think if we did it again, you have to sort of like make it better than, you know, than it is today, sort of thing. But do you know what? In 12 months' time, so much is going to have happened that actually I would imagine that if we do it next year, it will be a very, very different animal to it than it is today, because A, we would have learned quite a lot of stuff, but B, the print industry, it's evolving on a daily basis, and 12 months is a very long time to, you know, sort of like really go and get some other more empowering, exciting, you know, engaged stuff, and, you know, sort of like showcase it to our clients and to the agency.